Hey guys, this is Jordan here to bring you guys a video on my Musa skill rotation that I use in Aakman. So this is going to be a video to hopefully help kind of explain more detail with Aakman and for future PvE content. I'm going to show you basically the skills that I use and my food rotation and buffs and stuff like that. So we'll get into it. Alright, so with food rotation, okay, first we'll go to my gems that I am using currently, but it could change in the future. This isn't nearly as mid-maxed yet. I need to, of course, get my AP higher, but if you're around 270 or lower, this might help you. So I get one crit from my Zarka, okay? You don't need as much accuracy when it comes to Aakman, but I definitely recommend being level 61 and at least having 300 accuracy. I don't know where the accuracy is going to cap out. I haven't done testing on that, but I can safe to say I think I'm around. Yeah, I have 311 accuracy, not including gems. So 24, 32. So I'm around 340 something accuracy currently with this setup, and I can hit the mobs fine. But we'll kind of go over. So you want to max attack speed. You want 5 attack speed. You want 5 crit. Alright, so the way I get crit is basically I have one from Zarka, okay? So that'll give me 1 point. I also use Serendia meal, which is going to give me 10 more accuracy. Okay, so I actually have over 350. And then if you include the accuracy from Resplendent, I have over 360. But I believe you need at least 300 accuracy. It might be a little bit higher, I'm not sure, because I'm also level 62, but we'll kind of go over, that'll be like accuracy, and then crit. So I get 1 from Serendia meal, I get 1 from my weapon, that gives me 2 crit, and then you have 2 options basically. You either can run party elixirs, which I believe will give you more trash in Aakman, or you can run Giant's Draft. This will give you +3 crit, or you can just pop a party elixir. I'll kind of go through the party elixirs that I'm currently using and one that I would add to it. I just haven't made a bunch yet. So we got +3 crit, that'll put us at 5 crit. So if we look at, if we go to our basic stats, we're maxed out on attack speed. We're maxed out on crit. So the next thing that we would probably want to max out would be movement speed, which does help. It'll help bring in more trash. You'll be able to move quicker. But currently with my setup, I don't have movement speed, but that would be like the last thing that you would want to focus on to min-maxing your character, would be movement speed. So we have crit. If I click this, this is recover HP on attack. So this will help out when it comes to potions. You don't have to run as much potions. We actually can kind of go over the elixir. So we got crit. I have down attack. I'll show you while I'm grinding where you can see down attack. This is just going to make you do more damage whenever the monsters are down, basically. We have the HP recovery, so Grim Souls Reaper. This is called Brutal Carnage. Strong Shock, so Shock, Brutal, Grim Reaper. Here we have back attack. We do some back attack damage. And that'll kind of how you want to position your Musa to get more damage out. So back attack. We have Demi-Human, so the mobs in Aakman are Demi-Human. So we use Demi-Human also. And then because I'm Catharist on my 10 armor, DP doesn't really matter to me. I won't die. I do suggest running Uragons and Aakman, especially for nighttime. You want Uragons that are just better for PvE content. So we will, yeah. So I have minus DP minus 8, which would bring us down to 304 DP with Nouver. Now, if you're running Kudum, which maybe you're only 235 or 245 with Kudum, you obviously have more DP, so you'll be tankier. But Uragons are very, very good. A lot of DR. DR is really good in PvE. Okay. As far as offhand gems, these are currently what I use. I haven't done any testing myself, but I use down attack and crit damage gem. And that's just what I've been running. All later on, once I reach my goal of 269 with Kudum, I'll make a mid-max video showing my numbers. I'll probably post a spreadsheet. I'll do probably like at least 10 to 20 hours with those specific offhand gems and see what I get more trash of. So that's currently what I'm running. Some other things that I'm running: red battlefield crystal, knockdown resistance. If you get knocked down, similar to the mobs, when mobs get knocked down, they take more damage. You will take more damage. So I recommend getting knockdown resistance. Resistance gems overall are really, really good, even for PvE content. Same thing with Griffin. That's why I run Griffin helmet. You get more resistance. Bunch of DR, very good. Some optional gems I have in Macaloids. Reason why: more hidden AP, more stamina, more accuracy. Because I don't die, I don't need, or while grinding, I don't need more HP, I don't need more evasion, I don't need, I could maybe switch these out for resistance, but my resistance is pretty high. So that's why I run AP, accuracy, and stamina. Really good for Musa. As far as chest goes, I was running 2 more max for more damage, but I've noticed that when I don't have my E buff up and the little spinny hammers are spinning, if you're not careful, you'll get stiffened or stunned. I don't know which one it is, but I use Vigor for more resistance. I've noticed that I'm not getting nearly CC'd even more on top of all these resistance. It's really good for Aakman. And then for Begs, I'm just using Vipers. Like I said, I haven't tested any accuracy stuff, so what I might do is I might take off these Vipers and put on the crit AP gem. I have thought about doing that. I'll show that one. Gloves. So I have thought about switching them out for this Valor crit AP, hidden AP, just for PvE content. More hidden AP, more damage. So yeah, I have thought about that. And yeah, trying to think. I believe that's all my gem setup. Reasons why I use it. We'll go through skills. Alright, so these are going to be kind of skills. I think we calculated it around like 12 or 1300 minimum skill points you'll need for Aakman. And then we'll go through the skills that I currently have. So I don't have any points in Spinner because I think Spinner's terrible. It's too slow and it doesn't do that much damage, so I took this off. I do, however, have 1 point in just to get the flow dash flow. So this is really good. All DP minus 15 for 10 seconds. This will increase your damage, so you want this skill. I put this on one of my 1 through 8 numbers or whatever, so I can just press 1 to bring out this skill. Instead of having to do spinner in order to do the flash, you can actually put it on your bar, and whenever you're in awakened and if it's off cooldown, you can use that. And then I have everything else maxed out in awakening. When we go to main, okay, main, things that are really good, you obviously want to max out chase. You can max out Dragon Bite if you want. We have a skill add-on on that, which is going to give us crit chance plus 20%. So every time we initiate into the monster, we're going to get 20% more. Kind of go to more crit damage or crit. So you get 5% every crit level you are. So since we got max crit or 5 crit, it's basically 25% more crit. Now if we look at our skills, all right, they're going to tell you the crit rate. All right, so for this skill, I get 50% chance to crit. All right, on top of 25% chance to crit, that's going to be 75% chance to crit. And then if I blind thrust, that'll be 95% chance. And then to max out, we're going to throw a blind thrust, which is also in awakening. I suggest leveling that skill up too in PvE. This is going to give you 30% chance to crit for 10 seconds. Now, you might be like, well, that's overkill crit chance. Well, some of our skills do not have the crit chance on it. So, for instance, Below the Belt doesn't have any crit chance on it. So you'll get 25% from your having crit plus 5. You'll get 30% from blind thrusting, which will bring you up to 55. And then you got the blind thrust, or not blind thrust, what is it? Dragon Bite, which will bring you up to 75% chance to crit. Okay, so that's what you have to kind of consider. It's going to help other skills out. So Below the Belt, for instance. What else do we got in here? And Flow Dash Flow. Okay, this also hits pretty hard. That'll also help you. And then we got Flow Backflow. Same thing, crit damage or crit chance. And yeah, so that'll help those skills out. We also do Rising Storm quite often. This already has crit rate 50%, but it's just to max out on these skills right there. And this doesn't have any crit chance. Twister, you use that skill kind of quite often. Yeah, so that represents crit. So we'll kind of go through the mob. I don't want to mess someone's rotation. I did see someone here earlier. I don't know if they're still around here. Another tip, you can put Aakman trash up here. Okay, so we'll go down here. You just right click the Aakman trash, item count. Okay, it's gonna pop it up there so you can see how much trash you're getting. So I'm gonna try to talk while I'm attacking mobs, and we'll go through my skill. First I'll do it off screen. So basically what I do is I will blind thrust into Dragon's Bite, okay, into Rising Storm. And the reason why for Rising Storm is because I have a skill add-on that gives me, okay, if we go over here, gives me attack speed plus 10% for 5 seconds. So it's going to make your next coming skills go quicker. Okay, so we got 10% from that. All right, and these skills might change later on when I get more AP, but this is just currently how I'm killing mobs in Aakman, basically. So crit, Rising Storm into C. Okay, it's gonna bring out your awakening. Then the very first skill we're gonna do is Flow Dash Slash. So this is going to put the debuff minus 15 DP on the mobs. Okay, and some mobs, just to throw this out, when you do Rising Storm, it's actually going to float the mob, or it's going to do some more air damage, but they're also going to land on their back, which means you can get more down attack damage on them. Okay, so that's something to consider. With a little bit lower AP, it might be different with higher AP, but so far that's this. We'll just go ahead and pop these elixirs too. So then I will throw the flow of / in, okay, and that's going to put the DP debuff on him. Then from that skill, I will go into below the belt, okay. So I will do below the belt, and the reason why I do below the belt is because of our skill add-on that we have on. Attack against monster plus 25 for 8 seconds, okay? So that's going to give us, for our next skills, more damage to monsters, okay? It's going to for 8 seconds. And then on top of it, I threw in a movement speed plus 7% so that I can move around the mobs quicker and kind of position myself behind them. Or I may use it to get from pack to pack to pack quicker than you can actually surpass the movement speed. So if, say, you capped out on movement speed, 25% more movement speed, this 7% will make you move even quicker. So I like this skill on my skill add-on. That's what I currently have. So we'll go into so far crit, Rising Storm for the attack speed, C, and then we'll throw our flow into below the belt to get the monster damage. And what you'll notice is a lot of mobs will be on their back, and if you do get this, then we will throw a fiery crevice in. Okay, this is going to do a ton of down attack damage. A ton of down attack damage. If we go to our fiery crevice, you can look, it says down attack in blue. Okay, so this is a down skill. It also will put the mobs down too. It has a chance to put the mobs down. But it does a lot of damage, 12% times 5. So, and it has some accuracy on it. It does a lot of damage, we'll just say that, okay? And you'll be able to tell while I'm killing the mob. You'll notice the mobs that are on the ground will take even more damage. Especially because I have down attack on this, and I have down attack in my offhand. Alright, so I have 25% down attack. And even in our food rotation Driegon meal, that'll give me another 5%, so basically 30% more down attack damage. Also food rotation, so we got crit from that accuracy, stamina, back attack damage, and then you got crit damage, ignore resistance. Okay, I don't know if resistance is affected to the mobs to making them go down or not. I haven't tested that, or I don't even know if it does or not. That'd be kind of interesting to know. Maybe someone knows. Could throw it down in chat or down below if you do know if ignore resistance counts for PvE also. And then Driegon meal, which will give us 5% down attack. Okay, so after fiery crevice, then I will do a backslash. Now on my backslash currently, this is where my third skill add-on is just random because I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. But I have more evasion just for defense. Don't even need it. I just have it on there, and then I have a burn damage of 50. This is to kind of melt some mobs because all the mobs won't be, compacted in. Some will be sort of spread out. Kind of a tip too is if you play on high sensitivity, when you do your backslash, you can actually even if I activate the skill right here, if I land my screen over here, it'll actually hit the mob over here also with that burn damage. So I do try to position myself if there's a mob kind of wide. You might see me do that ever so often. So that's something to also note. So now we'll kind of go into mobs, and I'll show you real quick. Just for this mob, I'll show you crit, rising storm. You can see the crit damage. Okay, I'll throw this flow down into below the belt and see how some mobs got knocked down. Into fiery crevice. Okay, and backslash. It's gonna put a burn on them. And then you kind of want to position yourself behind them to get back attack damage, okay? So that's something to note. DP debuff below the belt. They're down. Fiery crevice does even more damage. And that's kind of my skill rotation that I will do to all mobs. So crit. They get knocked down, some of them, below the belt, which also knocks down into fiery crevice. And then sometimes I'll throw the dash flow in too for a little bit more damage to finish them off. I don't know how I could go into more detail with it. I think this is probably going to be the best detail I can do. You can do party elixirs, you could do giant drafts. Perfume with giant draft does a lot of damage too. Also kind of a positive thing with giants and perfume is you get movement speed +5, so your character's very, very quick. Or you could get +3 movement speed. You could run that in here also. It's up to you with how you want to min-max your Musa in Aakman. Also, you're going to want to learn pulling rotations, which I guess I could throw into this video also. So currently with my current AP, like this mob group that we killed, I typically don't just kill this group and then move on to the next pack because I don't kill them very quickly. So what I like to do is I like to take this mob pack into this pack. So I will bring two packs in order to melt all of them. But a technique that you need to learn is you got to wait, or what I suggest is waiting for the mobs to come all together and then throwing out your DP debuff so you can do massive damage to all of them. Also, there's going to be specific spots where you may want to use your E buff or Z buff. I don't just use it off cooldown. I use them in specific spots where I find there's either a lot of trash or a lot of mobs that I want to just burn through, or I don't want to get CC'd, so I use my E buff for that. Hopefully this guide helps you out with skills that you use and kind of the rotation that I use. So like for example, we'll bring this group into this group, okay, and I'll crit up, I'll switch, I'll pop my E buff for this part because there's just a lot of mobs, okay, and boom, spinning so I can't get CC'd. Alright, and then I'll come back over here, pop my crit buff, throw my DP debuff out below the belt, knock them down, get some down attack damage, and try to position myself. DP debuff below the belt, down attack, back attack, and hopefully that helps you guys out. Thank you guys for watching this guide. Hopefully I helped out some people with Musa and things to kind of consider, and buffs and gems and stuff like that. You guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next time.